32F boyfriend bought me soap, candle, and shampoo. Overall for the last month I've been pretty much a huge mess, because I've been struggling just to meet my $3,000 per month rent and expenses after suffering a huge financial setback a few months ago after losing my job. My apartment has been a complete mess, upside down. I have been apologizing for it to him when he comes over and letting him know it's because I've been struggling so much. And it definitely is not the norm for me. My hair has also been upkept, and not in the best condition. I have super texturized hair which requires a lot of maintenance. He doesn't help me financially and I have no support from anyone else. So I've been working 80 hours just to make ends meet. Things are finally going to be able to improve because I just started a new full-time job this week. However, I haven't been able to see him all week because I have been working 9 a.m. 12 p.m., 16 hours straight, for the last few days. Now today he comes to my place and he brings me cheap soap, cheap shampoo, and a candle. I put the words cheap just for reference, that they were not gift items, just to be accurate about what the items were. My gut tells me this was a dig. And the shampoo even said, long-lasting fragrance. I know I've been a mess, but I've been in survival mode for the month and really haven't had any time to maintain myself. I am not sure if it was him putting me down in a passive-aggressive way bringing those things, because I in fact do need the shampoo and my hair is pretty bad. I feel pretty humiliated about the shampoo. And my hair is indeed not the best right now, as one other person commented on it as well. I honestly haven't had enough money or time to do my normal maintenance and normal routine. What should I do about these small gifts? Do you think he was trying to put me down? My gut says something was off about it. Regardless, I feel shitty, sad face. I would rather a bit of maybe compassion, or maybe helping me more, or maybe giving me some money to get my hair done, rather than this tactic. Update. 4:20 seconds. Following day thoughts. I probably should get my hair taken care of ASAP so it won't come to this lol. But based on his personality and some of his behaviors in the past, he can sometimes be underhanded with things, or gaslight me. So that is why my initial reaction was one of uncertainty. But I think I can let this go, and he probably was trying to help in the way that he is able to, and I do appreciate it. I'm so glad I asked for advice before saying anything about it to him, and spoiling potentially good intentions. I sent him a message last night thanking him for the candle, as the candle was a nice one and did smell good. And I guess we'll get to work with that shampoo. Lol. Woman in steamy room, medium skin tone. I have also been pretty stressed and overwhelmed, so I guess my thought process is also a result of this as well. Thank you Reddit community for your help. He gave you a self-care kit. That's all it is. You are making a mountain out of a well-intended molehill. You've been in a bad place, so your nerves are probably a little raw right now. It's never okay to expect a non-marital partner to pay your bills. But it's highly unlikely he was making a dig at your hair. If he's like most straight guys, he probably hasn't even noticed any changes to your hair. Bet he heard the term self-care, Googled it, and bought whatever was recommended. You're looking way too deeply for motives that almost certainly weren't there. Is he financially okay? If he's in the similar situation like you, he might just genuinely trying to help. Sounds like a gift from a man who doesn't understand ethnic hair, but means well. At very least, it might be a subtle and polite way of telling you you've let your hygiene slip and him trying to help you with that. But honestly, if you don't have the time or mental energy to keep up with basic hygiene, should you really be in a committed relationship? As far as your last two sentences, you two don't live together. He has his own expenses and it's not his job to help you financially. He might not even be in a place to do so if he wanted to. If you're taking what seems like a sweet gift and looking at it in such a negative and bitter light, maybe that's a good indication for you to call the relationship off and focus on getting your life in order. 30M, went through girlfriend's 36F DMs on IG. Need advice on how to confront her. 30M, had possession of my 36F girlfriend of 7 months phone for a few minutes. I went through her DMs. Part of me feels awful for violating her privacy, but I have sensed for a while something was off. She's really bad at keeping stories straight and timelines consistent, and I pick up on everything. For the first few months of our relationship, I noticed she would never post pictures of us on social media, which I thought was strange because before we met she posted things constantly. I also found out she had been married previously, which she had never disclosed, But apparently this was just for citizenship purposes, which ultimately checked out when I confronted her. Anywho, my intuition told me something else was off, so when I had possession of her phone for a couple minutes, she is usually very protective and careful with her phone. Lots of dudes in her DMs she previously had told me that I was basically crazy, gaslighting, for thinking she talked to other guys, and said she blocked or stopped talking to anyone once we started dating, but lo and behold, I only had limited time, so I zeroed in on conversation with some guy she had hooked up with at a adults-only resort in Mexico before we met. Lots of sexting before we met and her bragging about all the guys she slept with at this resort. And then sexting for the first couple months of our relationship before she finally tells this guy she's dating someone. While also reminiscing about times they fucked, very cringe. Then she says basically I wish you well blah blah, implying they're not going to talk anymore. A month or two goes by and she's initiating conversation with him again. I didn't have time to look at all the other conversations she has with other guys. This was 2 months ago. I can't move past what I saw. But I do not know how to confront her. I realize I violated her privacy, which is not cool. My anxiety makes me wonder what else could be going on. Sometimes she'll go radio silent for long periods and say, "Oh, I was napping," or, "I lost my phone." I love her. In the 7 months we've been together, we've traveled the world together and done so much, so this is a little complicated. Too long did not read. Exclamation mark. Went through girlfriend's Instagram DMs, found disturbing things and do not know how to confront her, talk to her about it, need advice. Tell her about snooping and tell her that what you found was enough for you not to want to be in this relationship any longer. There is no need to confront her. Just break up because you don't trust, and maybe rightfully so. Dump her. She has zero respect for you. Just be grateful you figured this out about her only 7 months in and not 17 years. Why do you want to confront her? Either leave now and begin your life with someone decent. Enjoy shagging her until you can find someone who will treat you with some decency and respect, or stay with her like a beaten dog and accept that she will probably welcome a knobbing from every bloke within a 100-mile radius. Dude, your girlfriend is a cheater. You're 30, don't waste more time of your life on her. My 25 girlfriend, 24 female, of 7 years, slept with another guy while we were on an exclusive break. Hey, could really do with some advice. Not sure how to deal with situation or even approach it. For the past few months my girlfriend, 24, and I, 25, of 7 years went on a break as we were in a bit of a rut. Both living individually at our parents' house after university, so not an ideal situation for freedom. The break was suggested by her, which I agreed to as there were definitely problems that could have done with improvement, like intimacy and quality time together was lacking. We both recently started 2 jobs, so I guess our mental capacity was elsewhere. So we decided to go on the break to work on ourselves in order to improve our individual selves, in turn making our together selves better. Well, that's how it was pitched to me anyway. The one condition I had was that if this is truly to better ourselves for returning together, to not involve or seek other people, until we knew whether it was worth resuming or going our separate ways. She agreed to it, but was still referring to us as both single, and I caught wind at work that she was telling people we had fully broken up. I challenged this many times, asking why it needed to have the label of single, rather than we're working on things for each other and are exclusive still. She was pushy about being single, which I found suspicious. There was a reason behind it. So I explained to her that I'm an adult and could deal with being broken up with if she wanted to see other people, but to tell me so I didn't get cheated on. She assured me we're exclusive and that we just need time, so I reluctantly decide to trust her. I then on 2 separate occasions had friends find her on dating apps, which I challenged her on and she said was a massive mistake and she needed a confidence boost and she regrets it and that it has highlighted to her that she wanted to be with me. I stupidly trust her and we get back together for a few months, and just last night I found out 2 days after calling the break she went and slept with a guy from work, which was way before the dating apps. So 3 times she has broken the one condition that I set, and I have no idea how to deal with it. I don't want to break up and I love her and we have lots of friends in common which we risk losing, but I don't know how I even begin to deal with this situation. I don't know if I can ever trust her again. She wanted the break for have sex with the other guy, and that's why she kept insisting, labeling it as being single. She obviously wants to see other people. Sorry you're going through this, but you know damn well she's not fit to be in a serious relationship based on her actions. The sooner you dump her, the sooner you could process this, recover, and find a better suited woman to be with. Whatever burdens or bullshit you had to put up with her before the break, drop it ASAP and let her coworker or whoever deal with that. Your girl wants to be single. Make it so. At the moment you just have a one-sided open relationship. You're done here and it's time to move on. I think that she got the 7-year itch and wanted to take a try with someone else while keeping you on retainer. That's not something you can easily come back from, because if she had just been honest and said that she wanted to break up, then no one's being lied to, but this way you'll never know if she's telling the truth or not. Sorry. Kick her to the curb and grow a spine. You do realize she wanted to be a good backup while she went screwed the other guy. Like, come on man. I can't understand how one comment has led to this. 35F, 45M. My boyfriend left me because he said I disrespected him by leaving a public comment on his socials where in jest I gave him the bird. I was joking and I intended it to be taken that way. However, he explained he felt it was disrespectful in public and lead to people asking questions about what it meant. I apologized and on reflection I fully accept I was wrong and I hurt his feelings. It was disrespectful. He went silent. I apologized again and fully took ownership for my wrong and accepted my mistake. I did say he overreacted to what was essentially a joke, albeit in poor taste. He said I disregarded his feelings by saying he overreacted. After going silent again, he eventually responded by saying there's no going back because I disrespected and disregarded his feelings and it can't be undone and we are over. I should point out this isn't a pattern of behavior where I have no respect, but a one-off incident for which I misjudged a joke and for which I'm sorry for. He said I will disrespect him again if we go back. I feel this is an overreaction. What do you think I should do? Edit. Thanks for the responses. I guess me saying he is overreacting sort of invalidates the apology. But I feel it's a bit more nuanced than that. I felt his response to the comment left was an overreaction, and his silence regarding it was an overreaction, but at the same time I do accept I've hurt his feelings and he has a right to feel disrespected, and that on reflection the comment was a bit crass and maybe better in private than in front of his peers and family. So, I am sorry, but I do also feel there's an element of him overreacting. He does have ADHD, which we know can result in people hyperfixating, focusing on the comment rather than the bigger picture of our relationship, and impulsive, perhaps ending it over something seemingly trivial. Or it could be he wanted out but couldn't say. Either way, he wants out. I guess I'm trying to process it but at the same time understand it. Not knowing is hard. It's really hard to accept someone would end a relationship over a bunch of emojis. Partners being jokingly rude to each other is great banter and the only kind of relationship I ever want to be in. Your ex-partner has a more serious approach. You're incompatible. Let him go. You'll find someone who will laugh with you eventually. He sounds very insecure and immature, kinda like this as an excuse to end things. Or maybe just so hurt by this that it is a red flag about his internalized toxic masculinity? I feel like if you maybe give him some space for a few days, i.e. maybe 3 but less than a week, and reach out to him again and he isn't willing to have a real conversation about this, it's maybe for the best to move on. We are only getting the story from your side. It seems like it may have been the straw that broke the camel's back. Different people have different senses of humors, and more importantly, different boundaries. Your apology wasn't really an apology if you told him he was overreacting. Your intentions are not as relevant as the outcome of your actions. You didn't intend to disrespect him, but he feels disrespected in front of his family and peers. The best thing you can do now is respect his boundaries and move on. I apologized again and fully took ownership. Well, that is a lie. I did say he overreacted to what was essentially a joke, and #X200B. You need a man on your maturity level. Find someone younger. How often do you joke like this?